Still sweating. Uh, hey everybody. Thank y'all for joining me for this review of Jackie Chan Adventures, the final season. Been at this for several, I want to say several, some weeks now, and finally at the last bit, I wrapped up Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters. Its final season review is up on the channel right now if you want to check that out. Share that if you are Yu-Gi-Oh fans out there, and see my thoughts on the three separate arcs in that final season. I didn't mention how I love that Yu-Gi-Oh theme. I should have brought that up. How like it was the theme was like wrapped up. It sold the show as much as like the card game did and the characters. But this is the final season of Jackie Chan Adventures, and this season's villain is Draco, played by Michael Rosenbaum. Turns out I did not even know that when I was a kid. I don't think like Smallville was like running at the time, but I never caught on until when I started rewatching everything that this man not only played the Flash in the Justice League anime series, but he was also Draco in Jackie Chan Adventures. Now Draco is Shandu's son. He's like the main antagonist of this particular arc. Now he showed up in one episode in season 4 where he traveled back in time with older Jay to bring back his father to help reclaim the world for Demonkind. However, in this arc, he abandoned that notion. He figures his father is like weak. It's like he needs some new blood. As far as like he figures he'll do a better job at having leading the demons to take over the human world. So he figures by doing this, he would claim the powers of Shandu's demon brethren. Doing this, he starts going around the world hunting down the artifacts that was used to seal them away in the first place. So it's not that too dissimilar to the Demon Portal arc, which I covered. You can check that out on the channel as well. But so this is like, I won't say it's paint by numbers. It's like doing the same thing, but it's just that I don't know. It's like maybe they, probably because since it was the final season, they kind of ran out of ideas for like another globe-trotting adventure. So they kind of like revamp a previous story point in a different season and utilized it for the final season. Now, the first episode I thought was a kind of cool idea. I never put that together as a kid. At least I don't think so. Is that Draco hires the enforcers, Finn, Ratto, and Chow, as his. He turns them into, dragons like himself, dragon demons like himself. But since they failed, he took the power away. So now they're normal people. So they're not going to be like in the previous seasons, the main henchmen to be utilized. Now he utilizes these Strike Master Ice and his crew, which unlike the enforcers, they're not. I mean, I would say if you're a diehard Jackie Chan Adventures fan, you would be relatively familiar who Strike Master Ice is, but he doesn't have that nostalgia or staying power as the enforcers, because the enforcers, we've been through a lot with them, so of course they're more memorable. Strike Master Ice and his crew, their Day in the Sun was this final season, and one episode in season 4. That is it. It's not enough for us to, say to one another, you remember Jackie Chan Adventures? Like, oh yeah, I remember Jackie Chan Adventures. That was so much fun. You remember Strike Master Ice? Who? I'm pretty sure you'll get a lot of who's. Now, he's supposed to be like a play on Vanilla Ice mixed with Eminem. I mean, like just like a street rapping type of white dude. And nobody liked that. Well, nobody's too keen on that even back then. Damn sure not too keen on it now. I mean, it's not even that funny. I mean, it's supposed to be playful laughs, obviously, but it's just like he didn't make me laugh. Like, it's just it wasn't selling that well. But anyway, they started to hunt down these demon artifacts, and of course, once anybody acquires these, because I guess they like kind of like the way like they did with the noble animals. It's kind of like combining two seasons themes of the two previous seasons into one, whereas like we're dealing with the demon portal shtick again with the demons, but the artifacts that was the spiritual version of the artifacts that was used to seal them away goes to wherever akin to the current artifact of today's standards. Like the flute that sealed away the sky demon is like an astral form of a flute that is stuck inside another flute that they find at random, or like a lotus flower is in like a zoo sitting on a lily pad, and it's like now the noble spirit, because like the original animals that embody the Chinese zodiac obviously long dead, but their essence, or at least what was used to forge the original talismans in the first place, went to what we would deem noble creatures of modern times to embody those powers. But those are life creatures, so it's you can definitely see noble creatures because they're living and breathing, and done are like very at least goodest work by animal standards. But why a spiritual? Maybe I'm thinking too much on it, but it's like why a spiritual form of a particular artifact goes like seek out the it's saying trinket. Like why would a spirit of a flute? Why is a flute a spirit in the first place? And second of all, why would it seek out I guess a real life flute to be able to use? But it's like, why would it like go out of its way to seek out an actual flute to embody? But I thought it was just weird. But I guess you can roll with it. But it's just like there's something that had to be pointed out. But these spirits of these artifacts, when they get into you, turn into, or these acquire the same abilities as the said demon that was used to seal away. So you get to see like these demons again, and like their powers utilized in various ways. So let's see, anything I'm forgetting? Yeah, this Strike Master Ice. Yeah, that was the right name. That was a fun moment when he's trying to acquire the Moon Demon's powers. This is like a nice because they kind of truncate this episode, at least these episodes in this season, into 13 episodes. So they do two demon artifacts into one episode. In episode 3, when like a panda, end up acquiring the moon demon's powers by eating one of the or sniffing one of the lotus pods that had the powers, and started just gently floating in the air trying to eat the leaves off bamboo branches. And it was just like adorable. The pandas are probably the most adorable animals in the world. At the same time, earlier in the episode, they was dealing with, again, acquiring the Earth Demon's powers. So you see like Earth Demon fight against Gravity Demon, and like a cool, like, well, Jackie got the Earth Demon, while Draco for a brief moment acquired the Moon Demon powers. And it was like a cool fight in between the two. It's just cool to see like these, demon powers fighting against Draco, or Draco using another demon's powers. But there was this moment where even like Jade's teacher acquired the flute demon, or the sky demon powers. Was a nice little moment where like at least Jade understands her teacher a little bit more, as far as like she doesn't hate, because like earlier in the episode she assumes like she's a teacher. Why do you think people become teachers? Because they hate children. And of course that's that line of thinking, a kid way of thinking, because when like a teacher is trying to like discipline, but trying to teach children and keep them in line so they can like observe and learn and stuff like that. Kids don't want to be like that. They just want to be rambunctious. That's their thing. So of course she will view them, teachers, are like just evil. But she learned that like there's more layers to her teacher, because she has to learn to look beyond what like her profession is. It's like this is a person who actually became a teacher because she loves kids. And there's a lot of teachers are like that. That you don't just become a teacher because you hate kids. Why would you become a teacher if you hate kids? You wouldn't want to be around kids if that was the case. Being a teacher would be the exact opposite of what you want to do. So as the Sky Demon, she takes on Draco in apparently this haunted house, like a real life haunted house apparently, and tries to go out of her way just to make sure she keeps Jade safe. And it was just like, it was like a nice moment between like Jade's teacher, who we've seen from time to time throughout the series, that's just been like trying to keep Jade in line, or calling Jackie for Jade's rambunctiousness. And you get to see another side of her in this episode, which I think I very liked in this particular episode. I don't know if I appreciate it as much as a kid, but as an adult, I appreciate it a lot more. There's like a couple of fillers. One in particular where like Finn, Ratso, and Chow have nephews, and they they're very, I wouldn't say stereotypical, but they kind of like embody certain weird aspects or certain things that you would have seen. Like Finn's nephew acts like a mafioso, Italian speak, like he's straight from The Godfather or something. Chow's nephew looked like someone from anime with the spiky hair and like the way his eyes look. And then Ratso's nephew is just like a doofus, like straight from Ed, Edd n Eddy. So it's like and they all believe that they're the lies that their uncle's been telling them. So like oh yeah, we just been like well, they work out of town kind of situation while they're doing a community service, at least thinking that they are just looking after their nephews while they're in town. Not want their nephews to look at them as like bums or anything like that. while Jay's is more suspicious of those kids because who their, you know, lineage is, and Jackie had to like, while learning himself that it's more of these people than what it seems, and it's like the one decent thing they done is making sure that they avoid having their nephews following their same footsteps, and be like, and they make sure they keep the secret, you know, for the sake of those boys. So it was a nice little teachable moment. It's like, you know, it was pretty cool. There was a moment when Toru, accidentally got the mountain demon's powers and started eating everything in sight. And it just, this is one of those funny episodes where it's like, it's the first time it was like addressed with Jay trying to get Toru to lose some weight and everything like that. And it's like, he started like snacking, and then the drums that was, at least the drumsticks that was used to seal away Po Kong, the mountain demon, were, I guess, embodying chopsticks instead of drums. And Toru used them to like eat food in the kitchen, like he's trying to sneak food, like late night snacking. Ooh, God, my stomach is just like not agreeing with me right now from that freaking one chip challenge. Ugh. I'm gonna try to make it through like my One Punch Man spoiler review, but I don't know if I can. But it was a nice little moment when Jay's in trouble and he's nearly full on mountain demon. Toru still had like the subconscious mind of protecting Jade, and it started like, attacking Draco as Draco's trying to like fight this big giant mountain demon. And it was like a perfect opportunity. Well, while Draco's trying to absorb the powers, Jackie interrupted because they don't have the removal spell in order to do them themselves. So they just intercepted the power, sucked it into this little vacuum thingamajig Uncle created to acquire these artifact spirits, returning Toru to normal and preventing Draco from stealing powers. But also at the same time, managed to steal like because it's been mentioned a few times in previous episodes. Where's the removal spell for the fire demon ability? And Uncle had to make one. They haven't gotten around to it. And plus, the container at first only takes one spirit artifact at a time. Now he kind of upgraded it halfway through the season to be able to take two at a time. So now, Draco's essentially powerless, aside from any physical attributes like speed and strength. He can't breathe fire anymore, which is like his, or at least make fire, which is like his number one go-to. And like since he uses abilities to turn the Strike Master Ice and his cronies into dragon demons, they're starting to like, unlike the enforcers who are more keen to following in line out of sheer terror, Strike Master, I give this to them. Strike Master Ice and his, crew actually, has some brains and figure like, we can just take advantage since he doesn't have the firepower, but we still do. And it's like, as soon as Draco started inquiring like the Thunder Demon's powers, he kind of put them back in their, or at least when he started to get all the powers towards the end of the season, kind of puts them back in their place. But you wouldn't see that from the enforcers, and it's like because only one time the enforcers show some backbone against a person who they were taking charge from when it came to like Dalong Wong, after he was threatening uh, Valmont. Uh, it was like I mentioned that particular season, season 3, I believe. Uh, as no, was it 3 or 2? I think it was 2. Uh, After he was threatening to kill him, they all like turned for a brief moment, turned against him. It's like drop him, like it's like just like out of just like it was like brief, but that brief loyalty, it was like there was like one genuine moment from the forces. But these guys, I mean, it's like they play a little bit smarter. But eventually, once Draco started acquiring all the powers and sucking them into himself, and then started unlocking uh, the demon world and into the real world. Uh, Now everybody's seeing like what's going on in the world. You can't really hide it at this point, as much as from previous seasons where Jackie and his friends trying to like keep things under wraps, so like you know so the world won't know about like magic or anything like that, because they won't understand. It took a lot for Captain Black to eventually understand magic is real, and uh, and you get to see like a cool moment where all these other previous bad guys, along with the J team, all coming together to help combat these demons Draco released, utilizing the talisman powers. It's a nice little moment. Just like, you get to see like all this a culmination of like what's been going on, and like you see like Finn and Russell and Chow obviously didn't step in. They just it was there, but they just figured like, oh, they got this, and they went over to and grab, because it's all happening in like this final battle happening into like a baseball stadium. So they went over there to grab some hot dogs and stuff. Well, J Team and Hawk Fu sitting there fighting demons. But earlier, I don't know if it was like Jade or Uncle, I can't remember, released Shandu because he's the only one, because what's wrong? Well, was it, either Jade, or I'm pretty sure it was Jade, who released Shandu knowing, or no, it was Uncle. It was definitely Uncle, who knowing like or at least convinced that at this point, we need somebody who can actually go toe to toe with, because he's going almost the size of Shandu's regular form, and even like the thousand power by themselves would not be enough. So release Shandu, in order to like, because he convinced them like, just out of like his own ends decides to help. It's like, I will help my unruly son. I will help you deal with my unruly son. And then like, here comes Shandu, just Deus Ex Machina just starts effing up his son, but his son has like his demon brethren's powers. So with Uncle's ideas is yelling at everybody who has a talisman, throw your talismans at Shandu. So Shandu absorbed all the talismans back to his own body, and was powerful enough to go toe to toe and beat Draco. Draco's hanging on like a crevice, begging for us. Very Lion King is like, father, help me. It's like, but then Shando's like, I will help you as long as you know your place. And as he's trying to pull him out, Draco just like a one final like f you try to drag him over, but Shandu managed to hang on. They both fall into the pit back into the demon world. uh, and since Draco's gone, all the demons that were released starts going right back to the demon world and sealing everything up. So not only all the demon magic is the powers from all the different demons are gone that Draco absorbed, but all the talismans as well, so nobody can ever come after them anymore. And it's funny because Velma had like a one brief appearance in like a previous episode, but he didn't have no speaking role, so it was just like a nice moment just to see him, because you get to see a lot of people returning, except for Dao Long Wong. But you but now that everything's back to normal, because we seen like there was an episode where like you get to see like the future one more time, where you see Jade fully grown, and it's like unlike what she's always dreamed of when it comes to like being a part of Section 13 and being an agent under Captain Black. She had her every once in a while she does like some action and stuff like that, but she's mostly bogged down with, like paperwork and stuff like that. She doesn't do like the adventurous stuff like she wants to. But after when Jay was younger, apparently this little kid who was being picked on in school, forgot his name. Was it Andrew or something like that? Uh, um, yeah, the well, it doesn't mention the kid, but the kid's name I can't remember myself. But the kid who Jay looked after watching him being bullied by these other kids in school, takes him to her house, as he was fascinated while watching Toru learning some spells and everything like that. Then some while they supposed to be on vacation trying to acquire Jack is trying to acquire some artifacts, at least a piece of an artifact. Some guy in a red ninja outfit, no, it's not Deadpool, starts using magic to like trying to steal this artifact away. As Jay follow him apparently through a portal to the future, where they come to realize this masked man is the little kid in his adult form who supposedly, after watching Toru, start to be his apprentice when Toru becomes a master, learn all he could from Uncle. But as you can see, like in the future, he's like more, sporting a lot of, well, I don't know the like appropriate attire. I like to say it's more Chinese attire. It's more like almost like more slightly casual / regal in a way. And he's like wearing glasses and he's showing a little bit gray hair. Uncle looks exactly the same, but Jackie and Toru's like showing a little bit more gray hair, representing this like at least 10, 15 years older. And Jackie still moves, but Toru's like a total pro when it comes to casting and wielding spells. And I guess it's kind of like when we have a kid that's been bullied so much, and it's like to the point where he's on like he's fixating to like hurt people kind of situation, and that's what you're dealing with. So in the future, he's just like on a tear, summoning all these like different creatures and minions and stuff like that, and it's like it starts to overwhelm Jackie and Toru and adult Jade. So little Jade goes right back in time to the past, takes the little version and brings him to the future and points out to him like, see that? That's you. You're causing all this mess. You need to deal with him because he's probably the only one who will probably listen to. And it's like, how do we stop him? And like the kid's like, well, I'm afraid of heights. So, somebody, I'm pretty sure it was Jade. I'm not sure if they use like a rocket pack or something, but start carrying the masked man, or at least he's not masked at this point, but the adult version of the kid in the air, and he's sitting there freaking out, and he dropped the artifact that giving him all this power, and like all those minions go away. And the little kid just gets in his face, his adult version's face, and is like, I'm never going to be like you. And then, of course, don't know how this might change as far as the timeline goes if this kid, I'm not sure if the kid, well, obviously he never showed up again. I'm not sure if the kid decides to stick with Toru but knows what path he should be on, or just avoids trying to learn magic altogether. But either way, something will change in his adult form so far as like time wise, because any alterations in the past will affect the future. That's the standard time travel. But I thought that was a pretty decent filler episode. Every so often there's decent filler episodes, but this one and the one previous season where like adult Jay comes into the mix, those are pretty damn good filler episodes. But yeah, man, it's a short video. Out of all the seasons of Jackie Chan Adventures, if I can be frank, I think this one is like the bottom tier. But I think season one is definitely number one for me. Season 4 with the demon, with the Oni mask is my second favorite. Then the demon portals, with the noble animals, and then the bottom tier is the Draco arc. I mean, those are, not really my favorites. Those two, like, I still enjoy them, but if I had to rank them, those would be like bottom tier. But yeah, but that was just that was it for, it was short. That was it for the Jackie Chan Adventures series. I'm toying with the notion of doing like a history of videos for the series, with like going over the history of like the talismans, Shandu, Jackie, and so on. But there's so much others that I probably would rather do. But it all depends on how much time I have beyond, because primarily I want to make sure I do my video game walkthroughs that I do on my Twitch channel. And then I got other stuff to take care of, so it's like there's not much time and room for me to squeeze in, because currently I am doing like chaotic the series and doing like a history of or chaotic lore videos on my channel. That does take time in and of itself, so I know like I probably won't be able to squeeze in on anything else. I do recommend that you check out my Chaotic Lore videos if you're a fan of the Chaotic series, TV series, and the TCG card game. But yeah, I have several videos and a new one coming up soon. So subscribe to my channel, my YouTube channel, my Twitch channel. Uh, Follow me on Twitter, all name Talkative Carl. Follow me on my Patreon. That's patreon.com/talkativecarl. And please leave a comment below. Let me know what you think of uh, the entire series as a whole, but this particular season as well. What's your pros and cons? What was your favorite season? What was your least favorite season? I'm curious to know. But yeah, this has been a fantastic series to return to, after all these years. It's been fun. I love Jackie Chan Adventures. One of my favorite, TV shows as in my childhood. So I believe like a lot of people feel the same way. It's a lot of views on my channels who are huge Jackie Chan Adventures fans. They had like a nice run, nice 5-season series. I think it's, for what it's worth, I believe at the end of the season 4, they knew they got one more in them. Beyond that, they had no other story to tell. Unlike The Simpsons, certain shows know when to stop, or at least know when they're out of material, so they, decide to make sure that they have one good, nice send off. And I think, for what it's worth, season 5 it was a pretty decent send off. So I will see you guys next time for more TV show reviews. I just want to make sure I'm going to get out One Punch Man season 2 in a little bit, but after that I'll have like some brand new shows to start binge watching through, to do more reviews. Going straight into Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, Duel Masters, JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, and yeah, just those for now. I don't want to just overwhelm myself, but those will be the ones. Of course, I meant Armored Adventures, but maybe I can squeeze that in too. I'm gonna have to wait and see. But yeah, I will see you guys for One Punch Man season 2 review coming up soon. So take care, be safe, and I love you all 3000.